the best air acceleration, air speed, and jump height in the game to stay off of Sonic's vertical. So have to see how it goes. Both players kicking it off and getting ready. The fist bumps are out, and round one, game one, is starting off.
Yeah, here we go. Setting the tone for the rest of the crew battle to follow. We'll see who can start it off. We are going to be starting on PS2, which is something that I think maybe is a little bit more Sonic favored here, but everyone likes starting on PS2, so very easily could have just been a gentleman's.
Yeah, I guess like if you're really getting down to the nitty gritty, I'd agree with you. Like Sonic has gains a lot more by just having more stage to work with, but it doesn't feel like it's so much that Zero Suit can't keep up with Sonic on a stage like PS2. Oh no!
Oh no! You never want to see that happen. That's
I'm getting up on my soapbox. Sonic players, stop using homing attack. Just stop using it. Period. Like,
I think Sonic's is on that train at this point. Which, if the best Sonic player in the world is like, stop using it, maybe listen to him.
Like, the best way to use homing attack is after a cross up with something like spin dash or spin charge, right? Like right there, like using it as a timing mix up on shield after you already cross up. Any other time, you have better options.
Yeah,
like with that juggle scenario turning into a stock after the second up air. Liel not far behind whatsoever after an early SD.
Yeah, despite the SD was really able to bring things back, has the percent lead at the moment, as a matter of fact, and is looking to keep extending it, and is successfully doing so. As Apsara is kind of floundering a little bit to get these openings.
Getting a couple up here, he's trying to set up for juggle scenarios. They have some of the block strings online with like Zair and Nair into that frame one jab. It's just so hard to pin down Sonic sometimes, and the damage output that this Hedgehog has is legitimately ridiculous.
Absolutely. High damage output, high combo ability at the same time. But if you miss things like that up smash, you will get windows opened, and that's what Apsara needs. Looking for a lot to try and catch these windows, but Liel playing patient, playing safe, and only taking the openings that you know you need to get things like that forward air.
Another homing attack block string, going for the up air one after, and the boost kick out of shield. Yeesh. Liel dominating right now. Landing on the platform is going to throw things off a little bit. The edge guard still no stock taken on the part of Apsara. That was such a beautiful opportunity. Still is going here thanks to the corner pressure. Oh, it's been reversed completely. Hello.
Tried to go for something with that down air. A little bit crazy. And is again trying to go for some of these crazier reads, things like that up smash, but will be punished for it. Apsara able to close out that second stock there. And it is looking a bit more Liel favored at the moment, but could potentially see a great reversal here. Boost kick can kill insanely early, especially when you got some rage behind it.
Oh, I like that idea there. You get it down to, the DI in lets you get one up air, but nothing more. It's little neutral wins like that. They're going to be massive.
Liel just keeps going for those up smashes.
Oh my god. I liked what she was cooking though, and the flip jump will allow Apsara to stay alive. She's still peppering away here, and Sonic may have a lot of escape options, but is relatively light, yet the dash under, calling out the Zair landing option from Apsara, and finishing with the forward tilt. A little bit messy towards the end, but it does result in an MSU one stock lead.
Yeah, Liel fought well, was able to get the win there in the end. It, as you said, a little bit sloppy, looked a little bit like it was going to go the other way in a couple different instances, but consistency won it out in the end, and that was all you needed.
Certainly tough. And you saw the gears turning with Apsara there on that right side of the stage with like a drop through up air through the platform, trying to read air dodge as well, recognizing hits of up air, whether or not you're getting like the early hit where you can extend or the late hit where you don't have anything guaranteed. Like the gears were turning just a little bit too late when it came to Sonic and trying to find those hits that matter.
Yeah, and now we got to wait to see who Rowan Gold sends in place And it looks like we have our next challenger stepping up. I believe that is Hunter, the snake, coming in to deal with the Sonic.
Which makes a lot of sense.
It does. Snake grenades do a lot to help this matchup. Again, I kind of mentioned this the last time Hunter was on screen, but as a Snake main, Snake is kind of just the even character of Smash Ultimate, where almost every matchup in the game against Snake is even.
I'm really thinking about it. It's like, yeah, you know, majority of the cast that's like relevant, like at the upper half of the cast, most of it's even, like +1, -1. Like you can make arguments for, but nothing feels egregiously out of favor, nor does anything feel egregiously in favor of like the top half of the cast. Of course, you're going to destroy certain characters. Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to think of like Ridley. I'm sorry, boss.
Yeah, Ridley. Well, Ridley dies to everyone. It's kind of the same with Ganondorf. The one like pseudo exception to it is Min Min. She's the one character that can slip through the top tier status that Snake has of being even with everyone, because her arms are just impossible to deal with when you only have grenades as your projectile option. But other than that, pretty much across the board. I mean, you have some weird ones. DDD is actually a losing matchup because of the reflector, of all things. It's not a hard loss, but it is losing. Like, just weird, quirky things like that sometimes.
Might have to worry about it if Rowan is able to move on and play against Rutgers with Cheese waiting in the wings, feasting on this Snake. However, no Min-Mins and no awkward matchups like that on either side. You got a couple Samuses on the part of MSU Red, Ice Climbers, Falco, and this Sonic. Some really good position here for Hunter to potentially go on a bit of a run if he's able to get comfortable early, which I think will be very important, and thus on MSU Red's wheel to give themselves that one little bit of extra buffer if with an early stock.
Yeah, and here we go, off to the races. The SDs have been completed, and Hunter already, you can see, playing with those grenades in a very fun and interesting way, using them as kind of the turnaround to have one at his back at all times. It helps when trading into these spin dashes, and you can notice already Liel is using those spin dashes a lot less.
All about the grabs. Kind of an errant dash attack there, but spin charge as well to feint the timings. Snake's typically a trading monster, but so far it's Liel and a lot of control here. Wow, the homing attack was kind of brazen.
Yeah, you were saying trade monster, and that's pretty much the instance where you see it at its best. Only needs 1 or 2 grenades to land. You can put him in a bit of an awkward situation. And there's another one, not quite going to land with that up air. Looking for those kill options, though. Hunter living true to the name and hunting for ways to close this out fast.
You know what he's looking for. I was ready for like a C4 to come out on that shield on the platform. Liel getting a little bit too comfortable holding up block some of these times. Yet, look at this, the control Hunter has. He is standing in center stage, just waiting for Liel to do something that he can hard punish, or otherwise just let him take grenade damage time and time again. They'll close out stocks eventually.
Yeah, they're not the greatest at closing stocks, but that'll be something that'll close the stock. The side B into forward air, one of Sonic's most common kill options, and that has put a little bit of a fire under Hunter to close this stock out now. And surprisingly going to get it with the C4 of all things.
A shake of the head there from Hunter as well. You know he was really looking to try and not drop a stock there. And typically in a matchup like Sonic, like Snake has all of the iota just to control so much of the stage. Like everything is on Sonic to make something happen. And credits to Liel, he absolutely did with that empty land spin charge. Super nice.
Yeah, very well played. Hunter, again, just didn't want to lose the stock there, knew it wasn't necessary, but we'll see who MSU is going to choose to send in after Liel. And I think they've got some good options into the Snake here. You can try and play a camping game with your Bowsers, not Bowsers, your Samuses, excuse me. One of the Samuses co-mains Bowser, hence why that slipped out. Or you can just try and run it down, take kind of a Riddles approach to it, and throw out your Terry.
Yeah, I think if they're gonna pick anybody here, of which they have 6 listed, so somebody's not gonna get a chance to play. I feel like you gotta go with someone like Diddy Kong or in Curdle or Kai and his Falco.
Mm. Yeah, both of those definitely good options to go in with. Strong enough to kind of deal bigger damage while also being able to nimbly avoid some of Snake's grenade traps and setups.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the plan is here. They are actively discussing it, looking at stage lists, looking at each other to try and talk through who's left, who's going to sit out as well. Saw someone pick up a controller.
I think that was just somebody forgetting a controller. They are taking their time. Although, here we go. Stepping up. I don't recognize that player.
This is Narwhal. She's coming up to the plate. Will lock in a character. Presumably going to be Bowser. Bowser into Snake isn't great, but also like you have a lot of rushdown and capability to close out stocks early with edge guard potential. But I know Narwhal has also been really working on a Samus, but this is the Bowser.
Yeah. The thing with Bowser Snake, as someone who plays the Snake in this matchup a lot, it is a both ways matchup. I have heard both sides say it's strongly winning for them. And the reality is, I think it's just one of those incredibly volatile, even matchups where either side can take it, given the right circumstances.
Yeah, I can 100% see that. Like, Snake has so many means just to kind of eviscerate sometimes and lock down characters and games for seemingly spontaneously. But the same thing can be said for Bowser. He's just so fast, and whenever he's able to set up a devious, like, mid-stage 50-50 between a flying command grab or his just generally good buttons, that's really, really potent.
Yeah, and I think the thing that maybe arguably sends this a little bit more into the Bowser favor is that Snake has such an execution threshold to him. You have to play this character so well all the time, and especially in a lot of these more volatile matchups, you have to be on your A game. Whereas Bowser, as long as you can hit side B, not to downplay any of Bowser's play, of course. Side B is kind of the thing you need, but there's the Snake classic. It would not be a true Snake main if you did not blow yourself up at least once at a pivotal moment.
That's tragic, especially because you saw the gears turning and you saw that Narwhal was really playing a high impact, like focused type of game, like willing to take damage if it meant closing out stocks, like throwing out down airs, throwing out like just very many of these flying slams. But Hunter taking the first stock himself and then taking the first stock off of Narwhal. Let's see if he's able to kind of rally back here in late in this second game for him.
Yeah, it is swinging very well for Narwhal at the moment. Is getting some lucky breaks here and there with the grenades, but the pressure coming out from Bowser is really hard for Hunter to navigate around, and you can see the patience both players have as well.
Oh, the run-up shield getting scooped up by a flying slam. Narwhal consistently just landing and approaching with this massive command grab.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, the patience, you can see just waiting for Hunter to blow the grenade in the C4, and then once it's gone, there's no more threat, and you can just run right in and look for a grab.
Grenades back and forth, just maximizing that space. I like the pace at which Hunter is playing, but just a little bit too eager for that grab. The fast fall into back air will net the game for Narwhal, only dropping one stock, cementing MSU Red in such a massive lead.
Yeah, 11 stocks up over 9. That's a pretty good way to go. You are locked into the Bowser at this point, and Rowan Gold does have characters that can answer the Bowser fairly effectively without as much need. There you can see, again, the unfortunate C4 detonation. You could tell what Hunter wanted there and just didn't get it. And that's just kind of how it works sometimes with Snake.
Yeah, it looked like he already had placed the C4 and was going for the sticky on the shield on the platform, but just not keeping track of the resource quickly enough is certainly a rough one. As sitting down is... I don't recognize this player. Rowan is much more of the South Jersey.
Sickle, I believe? I could be mistaken. Nope, JC.
JC and her Wario stepping up to the plate. And Wario Bowser is typically seen as pretty good for Wario. When you have big bodies up against a combo fiend with some consistency issues like Wario, having a big body means, oh, Nair 2, always going to connect. I never have to worry about these little weirdness that can comes with Wario because my target is just always going to be there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good situation to find yourself into. It absolutely makes sense to be sending this Wario into the Bowser. And I imagine we're going to be seeing a relatively quick game here, all things considered. As both characters just like to be up in the other's face, so there's going to be a lot of slugging going on.
If there's anything that I can see on the part of Rowan, it's the ability to kind of smother in a game like this. Like taking multiple stocks very quickly with edge guards, with loft combos, like that type of explosive gameplay and explosive stock taking is what you need when you're down 2 stocks.
Yeah. Still, at the moment, both players keeping it blow for blow, which is almost something that you want as Wario, because that gives you more access to your loft. And if things are going slow, then that means you could potentially open up to multiple lofts in a game. Not something that comes up as often in crew battles, but still something that could theoretically be on the table for, say, a half loft if it gets to later ends of stock 2. But what an edge guard reversal there! JC overstaying the welcome, and that is unfortunate to deal with.
I was just about to say, like, I really liked the drop zone down air. Like, your edge guarding Bowser is really important, and she's playing the timing mix-up so well. But then a reversal like that, Narwhal on standby with that instant down air to quickly take a stock, and Bowser's power is showing once again when it comes to crew battles and alternative formats. Don't have to worry about winning a long set or burning through your resources too quickly. All you got to do is take stocks.
Yeah, and JC will get the stock in return, but 80% on the second one is at threat of going down to a last stock, potentially worse going into the next member of MSU Red. We are finally getting some openings going the right way, waiting patiently for an air dodge to see if that walk can come out, but Narwhal knows better than the air dodge in a situation like that.
Just the jab there. Really trying to apply some pressure here. Only 1 stock lost isn't too bad, but 2 stocks lost. A massive potential trade in the half loft. Let rip. Narwhal going to be dropping out after 2 stocks taken, but man, oh man, that's what, 4 stocks that she's taken?
Yeah, I believe you're correct there. Just a good showing overall, and not great. Actually, that might have been 5. I don't remember what Hunter was at.
Hunter was at 2 because he lost 1 stock to Liel and then 2 stocks to Narwhal, and then Narwhal taking 2 stocks off of this Wario.
You are correct.
All right. In the way that Bowser can, like, you're just worried so much about speed at which Bowser offers and the good options that Bowser has that the typical bad ones, like, oh, I'm going to dare out a hit stun, like that shouldn't work. But then sometimes it does. That's the times when you know you're going to lose the stock to it. And that's some good resource management and awareness of her opponent's mental stack on Narwhal to take that stock when needed.
Yeah. All right. MSU getting the chance to fire back now. They know they're going into the Wario here. Question is, who do you send in at this point? And I think there are plenty of good options on the table. I think possibly that Terry that Vile likes to rock might be one of the better ones.
Yeah, I'm really in agreement with you there. Like, you gotta keep on the gas when you're in this high of a lead, and Terry has been known to break some zones and to deal some damage, to say the least.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the worst matchups. I don't think, generally speaking, Wario does well into your traditional fighting game characters. I know that Gluto fears running into riddles because of Kazuya, if nothing else, but I don't know how that applies to the Terry matchup quite as well.
It feels like it's a difficult kind of train to manage. As instead of the Wario, the MSU team is going to be setting up Curdle and his Diddy Kong.
That was another option that I was almost going to say, but I was back in the Terry train a little bit stronger.
Yeah, Terry can be really fearsome with his potent anti-airs and ability to out-damage or at least match up with Wario. But because of the edge guard ability of Terry since he can't snap to ledge, you're really susceptible to 2 frames and 2-frame trades with something like Wario forward tilt or just a down air on ledge. Things like that can leave a little bit too much up to chance if JC really starts to get going. Meanwhile, Diddy Kong, the ultimate control style character, can evade Wario very reliably and get a lot of setups from mid-screen as opposed to having to constantly deal with Wario in his face.
Yeah, I am 100% with you here as well. Both are good matchups. So I think this is a perfectly acceptable situation that you want to do it in. Oh, did not disconnect your Pro Controller. Always remember, kids.
Always
or else the TOs will get you.
Or wait, we're changing buttons?
Button remapping? What? Hold on.
Huh? I've literally never seen that before.
What? I feel like I've just seen an alien fly across the screen. What did we just do?
It looked like we were remapping the D-pad, but I have no idea.
No taunting? Taunting no longer allowed, I guess?
I mean, it's in his tag. No camping, no taunting. We are playing an honorable game where we throw each other we throw ourselves at each other.
That's such a strange...
It wasn't even his controller. It was a different controller.
You know what? I'm just gonna say amazing set play. And, you know who you're fighting against, know their weaknesses, and turn off their taunt buttons.
Not allowed. Not allowed to taunt here. I think.
No time. I don't know what that was. E.T. go home. But anyway, JC gonna lose those 2 stocks to start us off. Not great for the Wario, but we'll see what we can get done with this 1 stock up against the 3 of Curdle.
Starting off the game, instantly pulling banana. Now the game begins. Do you wait and try and buy time here as JC to cover up a waft for a potential instant stock taken, or do you let Curdle kind of dictate the pace of the game with some of this banana pulls and the threat that it provides? I don't know, it becomes very tense, but JC off to a really solid start here. Once she's been able to get going, you get to see the gears turning when it comes to this Wario combo game. So a little bit too overzealous sometimes.
Yeah, I gotta say, JC opened up really well, at least letting Curdle literally use their own momentum against them, as those side beats just kept going straight into Wario's mouth. And each one of those chomps leads to a bit more waft charge, which speeds up the timer, I should say. And potentially gets Wario to a waft game plan a lot sooner, which is what you need when you're playing a 1-stock game.
Every little bit helps. Ooh, the turnaround. Ooh, it's funky. It's fancy.
Yeah, it's flashy. Gets you some oohs and ahs from the crowd, but here we go. I think I've seen we're at half waft now at this point. Does not matter. There's the back air. Those monkey toes will send you flying, and Curdle solidifying a full player lead for MSU.
I believe that looked like the drift away there from JC was Kant trying to pull a little bit of a figure 8 in midair with Wario's amazing air drift, and like feint the jump in and then drift back to ledge, but in her drift back to ledge, you got caught by the very quick Diddy Kong back air. Taking that stock and cementing, as you said, a whole player lead. 3 stocks on the part of Curdle going into the final 2 players on the part of Rowan. Pretty good lineup.
I mean, so now we're left with a choice between 3 players for 2 slots. We've got Gray, the Mii Gunner, Sauce, the PT Hero, and Sickle, the Greninja. And I think this is Sauce stepping up to the plate here.
Looks like it, and it is. I know Sauce for their PT. Their hero is a little bit new to me, but I would be astonished if we saw Hero go into Diddy Kong and, well, I would be astonished to see it coming to Diddy Kong against Samus, the Samus that's in the back from Yobi. I wouldn't be surprised to see it there. But you kind of have to pick which sword do you want to die on. Do the troubling matchup of Hero Diddy Kong or the troubling matchup of PT Samus.
Right. And it is also a little bit the question of, am I willing to wait that long to potentially see if I even get the chance of having the luxury of choice to wait for a Samus to come out to then go, oh, Hero, now I can play Hero. You don't have the player lead, you don't have the stock lead, and you got to fight from behind. So knowing that, you kind of got to push yourself and pull out your PT that you're more confident on.
Yeah, and that seems to be the logic that Sauce is operating under. Leading the PT, tackling one issue at a time, and the current one is Curl 101 in front of you.
Yeah, we've seen Sauce, though, loves the Squirtle and does well into other combo characters with it. Was dismantling a Mythra earlier with this Squirtle. Would love to see a return to that exact type of playstyle, but as it is, Curdle playing very well with these few extra little spaces that you get on these Diddy hitboxes.
The forward tilt's not going to confirm to grab at these low percent. Maneuvering super, super well, but I like the stick on Squirtle for Sauce in general. I think it's such a good approach to Pokemon Trainer, since Squirtle just has so much. That is a confirmed punish thanks to the banana in hand, dealing some good damage here as Sauce as he pivots over to the Ivysaur. Let's see if this Ivysaur can close out a stock.
Yeah, this is about the percent you see people swapping over. You're about mid% on the Ivysaur. You're getting towards kill percent on your opponent. This is where Ivy does best, has a lot of good kill options if you can find them, and just having enough to stay in the game, nearly taking it with that back throw, and trying to get the timing around down air. Not quite going to find it, and that's enough of a window for Turtle to get back into the game.
Wow, the banana toss is able to hit the switch, and all of these command grabs as well coming out from Curdle. This Charizard's certainly on the back foot, but able to escape the ledge, reset to some semblance of neutral. Oh, the banana hit and the forward tilt whiff. Man.
Yeah.
So tough here for such a big body, but you find that throw, and that is the first stock gone for Curdle.
Yeah, and you can see swapping back to the Ivysaur in between stocks. Does not want to stick on the Charizard. Feels a little bit more comfortable on the Ivy here. And for good reason. Ivy can play the middle game, but the barrels... Oh, they have a mind of their own, and they will find you when you least expect it.
So you know what's funny? Barrels are controlled as they spin clockwise. So if you are on the left side of the stage and get intercepted in just like that position, all you need to do is hold in towards the center and barrels will slam right at ledge.
I'm judging mostly off the player cam here, where Curdle just kind of gave a shrug to the crowd that I don't know that was necessarily intended, but more of a, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, I agree with you. From the player cams, it looks like it was unintentional, but just by unintentionally holding in, it provided Curdle with some amazing coverage and a stock to get back to boot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you always take it. And it's definitely left Sauce in a bit of a more uncomfortable position. Does have a slight lead on Curdle here, but you need so much more, and that down air can be the opener you need to get into a better situation.
Big stock there for sure, as we see Sauce starting to jump a little bit more around these monkey flips, not willing to get command grab as much as he is. The tether cancel was so nice to avoid that banana placement. Sauce kind of cooking right now.
Yeah, he's goated with the sauce, as one might even say. Getting these aerials out there, doing a really good job of keeping Curdle kind of in this sort of awkward pressure state and not really letting go, but being pressured into switching to Charizard, trying to put the monkey down.
There's a lot of shenanigans that can happen when Charizard's on board, especially if he's able to get a banana in hand, but just the back throw, no dash attack. You have to follow up, no back air, excuse me, the follow up forward air on the part of Curdle, taking that stock, keeping this game even. doing his job, even if this stock gets dropped.
Yeah. I think you were kind of expecting to maybe go down to last stock here and hoping that you'd get a little bit more, because you need every inch that you can get when you're playing as far down as you are right now. You absolutely cannot afford to be the loser here, but that means you do have to find the closer on Curdle sooner rather than later, preferably.
Waiting just a little bit too early. Oh, going to the other side. Very well played on the part of Curdle. And then the wall jumps as well. Man, he is moving so well and playing to his own win conditions, which is Diddy's incredibly strong down air. Any sort of offstage setup. Holy, you DI'd in.
And you can see Sauce was not ready for that. Curdle popping off as well. Knows how big that was. That's such a window because it puts 3 players up against 1. And it's the choice of, do you send Sickle or Gray?
Holy moly, man. That's Diddy Kong. That's what Diddy Kong can do with just a little bit of time and a lot of rage.
Yeah. It's a nickel and dime playstyle, and was able to continuously get those nickels and dimes, and there it is. You know, that down throw puts you in a really good spot to kind of go for that at the right percents. And we saw just swaps to the Charizard to try and get a little extra weight, heaviness on it. And unfortunately, that led to the perfect percent for the double jump down air to send you all the way down. Just insanely good play and awareness by Curdle.
So, and all you need to do to avoid that, for those that are not aware, is to DI out. Like, just to hold away from the stage, away from Diddy Kong. All you get out of that stock is a back air. Out of that throw, rather, is a back air, and then you DI back air. But man, oh man, what awareness from Curdle. And hey, play to your win conditions, even at 170, even at such a commanding position in this crew battle. He played that strong and played that well. Is going to be facing his 3rd player as a result.
Yep. We've got the Mii Gunner coming out. We've got Versus Ridley as the background music. I love that choice. Gray just trying to get warmed up and in the zone. Has a gauntlet to run here. Could theoretically do it. Mii Gunner does have the strengths of camping, which is something that I feel like we'll get to when the Samuses come out. We might get into a little bit of camp versus camp, much to the dismay of Curdle's tag. But I don't, depending on the down B you choose, you could go for a Reflector here instead of the Bomb, which I know Gray was using last time he was on stream. And that could be the difference maker there.
See, he's locked in 3-3-3-2, which I'm trying to. That is the grenade launch, right?
Yeah, 3 is the grenade launch. I'm trying to remember if down B2 is bomb. It's bomb. All right, so opting not to have the reflector as a potential counter to the Samus players, and instead just going all in on the potential to camp here.
Yeah, we're going projectile heavy with the modular recovery that does not have a hitbox. In exchange, we decimate shields with missiles and grenades. Missiles, grenades, and the grenade launch. Like, all of those are devastating for any player or character that relies on blocking or their own projectiles a lot, which could be beneficial.
Curdle is going to have a hard time getting in, and you can just see that looking at the percents. 100 to 65 at the moment. It's going all right for now for Gray, but we already saw how well Curdle can just single stock away. Cannot sleep on this single stock and needs to make sure things are closed out before it gets any more hectic.
Lining up the ledge strap, and there it goes. Curdle not going to be able to continue his run of stock taking spree. However, Gray, on all 3 stocks, getting the chance to play against 2 players without any inhibitions from the 3rd.
Yeah. And now you have a choice between 3 players for 2, much like, you know, we just had with Rowan Gold for MSU. And you can choose a pretty decent variety here. Do you want to do counter camping with Yabi on the Samus? Do you want to go tricky and get Diamond's Ices in there? Or do you want to throw out K's Falco? Have the Reflector as an option to send back a lot of these projectiles, break through a lot of the pressure, and it looks like it's going to be Diamond as the choice here.
Seems that way here, Weimer, and it's like I'm of two minds about this, because of the 3 remaining characters, the best matchups against me Gunner are in sequence Falco, Samus, Ice Climber. However, of the player skill, Diamond is the best player of those 3. And with counterpick advantage, getting to go to Ice Climbers on FD, you're feeling pretty good overall about the opportunity that you're provided as Diamond.
Yeah, I think this is a nice choice to go for player skill over... oh, whoa! Aegis instead of Ices here, too. That's unexpected. That's not even listed as a character choice there.
Yeah, last I checked, like, Diamond had an Ices when Aegis came out and was very solid, then picked up Aegis as a secondary for his climbers. But then I hadn't seen it in a while because he'd just been developing his Ice Climbers more and more. But hey, like, for certain matchups that are very, very difficult to get in on, Mythra has no problem with that, because of that right there, being able to manually time and utilize foresight against heavy projectile characters and players is so huge.
Yeah, and suddenly the choice to send in Diamond into Gray over anyone else looked like, oh, that's not the best character. It has turned into, oh, that within 2, I think is what people like to refer to it in the community. Gray, though, doing fantastic at keeping pressure up in spite of all that, and not going to be able to find a stock off that, but able to get some heavy damage with the forward smash.
Oh, and the call out there, reacting to the early up B, again dropping the bomb. Oh, so much going for you there, but just not able to pick up the stock, and the flying down air from Diamond, netting stock 1 for Diamond.
Yeah, great sequence from both players. Fantastic awareness on both sides, and you're going to foresight from one side of the up smash to the other. This is a back and forth game right here.
Super, super fast paced, but hey, if you're Diamond, you take a back and forth game every day of the week.
Yeah, that is what will keep you in the bracket, and that's, at the end of the day, all that really matters, you know?
Certainly here. Man, Gray's playing well, though, like, calling out landings. No jump here, but this is why you have the modular up B, that third one on the part of me Gunner. It's easily the best at approaching from multiple angles, and you already have plenty of coverage. Just look at how many projectiles he's able to put out in just such a small span.
I do think the up B spike is the funniest. However, it's pretty obvious that that one is indeed not the best. This one, though, modular recovery is really good. It lets you sort of choose your angle as well, just slightly, but enough.
And the drop zone nair, that's a gone stock. Gray kind of working a little bit here.
Yeah, theoretically, if you could hold on to this second stock into a potential game after this, that would be huge. But as I'm saying, Gray is kind of getting chopped in half. Needs to find something quick if that's going to be an option. But no, I'm speaking it out of existence in the back air is going to send that stock away.
Solid combo, just choosing to prioritize the juggle, but Gray's delay option is gonna let him get down.
Yeah, it's still very back and forth. As soon as one gets momentum, the other takes it back. And right now it's in the hands of Gray, doing pretty good to keep this pressure on Diamond.
Playing this so well. Oh, jump is lost here on the part of Gray. Oh!
Ooh. Okay, well, Prominence Revolt not gonna go quite the right way, and that will be giving Gray one stock in a dream up into this final player here, who I can't quite see for MSU Red yet.
That is vile.
Ah, Terry. Interesting.
Again, choosing to lead in with the best player. So they had they had 7 players lined up, so they had 2 subs.
Yeah. That's the versatility that you sometimes get with a crew battle, you know? Sometimes you just get subs and you can send in who you want. I'm not sure if Terry is necessarily the best matchup into a me Gunner.
Yeah, I was anticipating the Falco as like...
Yeah.
we are able to shut down, take stocks, and with a with a recovery that, while it has a lot of mix-ups to it in terms of when you can approach, it has no hitbox, which makes Falco's edge guarding game that much more potent. Instead, though, we are again deferring to player skill, and while Diamond is a strong player, and Vile equally as good as Diamond, going into the final game with, one way or another, this is going to be the final game, but Gray behind the 8-ball with only one stock.
Yeah, someone will be going home, and Gray has to lock in and fight here to make sure it is not them. Gotta carry Rowan Gold as best he can on his back. The Vile only needs a couple good openings. Again, we've seen the situation multiple times today where someone's at 3 stocks and another is fighting back from 1. You can be kind of careless with those first few stocks, because as long as you're getting a few good trades here and there, by the time you're on your last stock, they should be at kill percent. So you have a lot of space that you can play around with.
If there's anything going for Gray, however, Terry is a little bit more susceptible to zoning. While Crackshoot is an insane button, a lot of what Terry does is rather straightforward, or is coming down with a power dunk. So you have at least windows to keep Terry out a little bit more reliably, but man, is this going to be difficult. So yeah, a good pickup there from Gray off of ledge and getting a chance to play full screen for the first time since the word go.
Speaking of go, the other issue that you're going to have to deal with Terry is getting him out before he really gets too far past 100%. Those 2 extra moves you get, Buster Wolf and Geyser, those can both take stocks scarily early if it gets to that point. So Gray really going to have to make sure playing perfect here so as not get caught out by those options.
Very true. We're seeing so much just corner play played out from Gray. Playing so close to these ledges as Vile is hunting for a down air or something off stage. Oh, spooky. Oh, look at all these smashes. So scary.
Oh, wow. The hitbox was extended off of that clank, and that was enough for the down beat to actually still connect and send Gray away. No real threat of anything happening there. MSU Red is going to be the victors, joining Ramapo as the winners of the other set, going into the top 4 and semifinals.
Wow, and that's a doubled up upset, as well, as MSU Red entered as the 6th seed here in this bracket, playing against the 3rd seed in Rowan Gold. Meanwhile, NJCU was the 4 seed to Ramapo's 5. Both the 6 and 5 seed are going to be playing against the 1 and 2 respectively, which both matches you will see right here on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Getting into it now. Hey, look at that. It's Collision. Speaking of Collision, you're on the Twitch channel for it. It might as well come to the major for it. No longer, I believe, fully sold out of all registration for competing, but you are still able to join and spectate. We've got a bunch of players. I went over the top row last time. Let's go for the second row. Mars, Tweak, Load to Buzz, Magi, Riddles, SkyJ, Zuppy, Big Boss, and more who can't even make the list because there are that many good names coming. It's Ultimate, it's Melee, it's Rivals 2 just announced, and it's all going to be happening in Parsippany, New Jersey, March 15th through 17th, coming up soon.
All of it being brought to you by the Collision Series team, which is specialized in hosting all of these high-quality events, as well as producing for events such as the one you see before you, the New Jersey Collegiate Cruise Circuit. If you want to support all of our growth, you can follow and subscribe on all of these social medias, including what you're watching right now, which is Collision Series TV, the Collision Smash on Twitter, and Collision Series on YouTube.
And speaking of Collision, we've got one more thing, Collision, for you. It's Fusion. It's the weekly run in Rahway, New Jersey, every Monday. Obviously held right here on Collision Series TV, the very Twitch channel you're currently watching us on. It's got Ultimate, doors open at 6, a nice singles bracket, and a rotating bracket for those who fall out of bracket. The main bracket, I should say, a little bit early. And if none of that floats your fancy, well, hey, there's always an arcade, some nice old school games. Take your mind off of any losses, or warm you up for the next fight.
With the other weekly, one of the other major weeklies of the many that happen in Tri-State being the Xeno weeklies, brought to you by House of 3000, located at Xeno Zero Gaming at 21 Ludlow Street in New York. The stream is at twitch.tv/House of 3000 with the bracket /GG/Xeno, where all of the updates you can find being at Twitter at Devin3000, #House, with all the VODs for every Xeno, by the way, of which there are easily 60 plus VODs every single Xeno, because they record not just on the stream setup, but also on some of the side setups. Thanks to the Blast Zone technology, they get like 60 VODs per weekly. So much.
Yeah, it's good if you want to improve. But
very good.
Speaking of improving, we have two people who have improved their standings, and they're going to go up against the two that got a bye. We're going to take a break real quick, but when we come back, more matches are waiting for you in New Jersey's Collegiate Cruise Circuit playoffs.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the New Jersey Collegiate Crew playoff. Excuse me. I'm Ubo, joined by Weimer over there, getting ready for top 4 of this playoff bracket. How you feeling, bud?
Feeling all right. Been in it for the long haul, but we're finally getting to the end of the tunnel. We've got a great matchup here to start us off. It's going to be Stevens Red versus Ramapo A. Now, we haven't seen Stevens Red on stream yet, so we actually don't know what their lineup is at the moment. We have seen Ramapo before. Ramapo, they did pretty good when they were up here last time.
Yeah, Ramapo having some really premier players and some really premier grinders as well, like BD Bean highlighting that sort of effort value on the part of Ramapo, given how many brackets he seems to enter. But also with players like Vernius in the wings, Ramapo is looking like a really solid team going into it. And starting off with Antoine and his Wario is a good look.